be honest, not big on, you know, like checking it all out first. I thought, you know what, get the box, see what's in it, lay it out, and have a rough idea of what I plan on doing with it, you know. But
it should fit in the place that we're hoping.
It's easier, get the product, lay the bits out, and see what exactly do I need. Okay. Stick all that in the bin. I'm joking. Leave that somewhere important. What is this stuff? Awesome. I love this. Look at that.
Ooh.
I love that, like, that's the control panel. Simple as, like, on, off, and flushing. Like, what do you want? Press the button, walk away. Now, this I think is what they're saying by do not just grab onto this and yank it out of the box.
Okay.
Of course, because I suppose if you're an idiot.
Oh, I wouldn't put that there.
Yeah, no, I don't would. If you were an idiot, that would be extremely tempting. Kind of tempting anyway. So.
Oh, you probably need to, yeah. Ooh, coolies.
This is it. Wow.
Heavy.
No.
Look at that. Give us a smile. Happy boy.
I said I'd just give you a quick overview and a rundown, I suppose, of the installation, where it starts and where it finishes, kind of thing. So you can see on this they've got a great simple diagram, and I suppose it's basically where the salt water comes in, runs through the system to the Watermaker, fresh water out, brine out, and fresh water in via your domestic pump for the water for flushing the system. So here are the components that come out of the box. There's a few other bits and bobs there, but forget about them. They're just for fixing and whatnot. So you've got, just starting at the seacock end, salt water comes through the seacock into the mesh filter, and then from the mesh filter you go into the bottom of this non-return T-piece, and so what you're doing is trying to get the salt water into the pump. So that comes via this direction, but you also need to be able to get fresh water for the flushing system. So the fresh water comes via your Jabsco pump or whatever domestic pump you have, and that goes into this carbon filter, which has got a valve on this side and a solenoid at this side. The solenoid would be controlled by the computer in here, which I suppose when you press flush it opens the valve, lets the fresh water through, and cleans the system with fresh water. Also, the carbon filter is to take chlorine and make sure that the fresh water is super clean, so that your system's protected. Then we're up at the pump, and from the pump it comes out at a high pressure, and the high pressure end goes into a 5 micron filter into an accumulator to kind of stop the pulsations of the water, and out of the accumulator it goes straight into the Watermaker unit, which is over here. I've put it on a shelf because you're not allowed to hang it on a wall because of its the weight of it, and it needs to be pretty robust. So I've got some pretty heavy duty bolts and legs and whatnot on that. Behind that I have my aft locker, and inside there I've got like my plumbing room. It's like the hot press in your house. So everything's pretty conveniently located. My saltwater seacock is down here. So basically out of this you'll get fresh water and you'll get brine. So the brine, I'll just have to run a pipe out to the heads and I'll just put it out with the tap water from the heads. Pretty much everything comes with it. I mean, I had to go to the suppliers to get a bit of timber because I had to make a shelf, but assuming you don't have to make shelves or any of that crack, you get your kit and you just got to get a couple of different types of pipe. It tells you exactly which type of pipe to get, and a few meters of cable, and that's it. I mean, the key really is figuring out where you're going to put everything. Put the stuff there, then when it's there, all you do is just connect, connect, connect. You know, it's not rocket science. I put power to it. So down here in our aft locker, so there's a floor, and this is the cupboard. The hot press I call it, because we've our chlorifier tank and jab scope pump and accumulator inside there. So I've thrown the high pressure pump in there, so we've quite a few bits we want to get in, but I just have to be careful how I do it, because it all sounds easy, just screw them in, but I suppose there's going to be pipes coming in and off routed in certain directions, and to try and hopefully have it not like a complete spaghetti junction takes a little bit of foresight. Sorry, the Watermaker is literally right here on the other side of the wall, and the seacock is literally right here by my foot. So
by your foot, yeah.
Yeah,
so it's all very close
on the other side of that wall. So what I'm hoping to do is, you know, bring the there'll be a hole come through here somewhere, and bring the saltwater feed up into the strainer, and to fit the strainer somewhere maybe down here.
So it's on the back of that wall, you can see there, because I can't actually get there.
It's on the back of the wall, and up enough so of course you can change the filter in it or clean it. This needs to be fitted vertical, and I must double check my notes, but possibly below the water line. So this will also go in here somewhere. So we're going to come out of the strainer into this, and then we'll come for the flushing system. We'll come out from the jab scope pump into the carbon filter and into the unit and through the system, just for flushing. That's just for flushing. And then for the salt water, it is then going to come also into this T-junction via the bottom, and continue on into this 5 micron filter and onto the accumulator, and then into the pump, and then out of that pump we're going to go into the Watermaker, which is on the other side of the wall. I'm just going to have to put that together and see what it looks like. I am a little bit worried that there's going to be a lot of pipes going all different directions, and they are not the lightest pipes, and they have to twist and turn, and I'm going to have to see how that works out. But the only way to do it is get going, start fixing things as best I think I can arrange them. Also, I'll probably put some plywood on the back of this. I'll see what screws I have, just so that I've got enough bite, because I don't want to. That's our aft cabin in there, which has got some very pretty undamaged joinery. So before mounting the stuff inside in the plumbing room, I'm going to just lead the salt water pipe in, so at least I know how I can get into it and where it's going to go and whatnot. The pipe that was doing the salt water tap I'm going to take out, so I can use the same route that came in, but I do need to go in here. I've checked on the other side, I'm not going to drill into anything nasty, and I'm just doing a minimum size hole because I don't really like making holes in my boat. In the end, the water line is kind of just above this floor, and really I had to drop the three-way valve down, which meant that the strainer was going to be dropped down as well. There you go. So most of that piping's old stuff, but I'll tidy it all up and put a little cabinet around it so nothing can get nicked with stuff coming in and out. Yeah, I'm just going to motor on now with fitting these things, and yeah, as you're doing things become more clear, so I'll motor away. So I've just cut into my Jabsco water supply, and basically I'm just going to tee into the carbon filter here with my T-piece, and that's for the flushing. So this guy just needs to come from the Watermaker, and I got it connected into the sink in the heads, and it needs a bit of a loop so that the water can't backflow. So we've got this guy ran for brine. That's obviously the control for the Watermaker, which is virtually flush mounted, so I just cut a hole out, put that in, all very straightforward, and the cable coming out of the pump plugs into it. Prior to, I suppose, you come from the batteries into a resettable circuit breaker, which would be very important. 16 amps it calls for. I have a 15 amp one, which I'm sure will be fine, but I had no more space here, no free circuit breakers, so basically I just carefully drilled a hole in this panel, and I was lucky actually because a lot of that's bunged up in the back, but there was a bit of space I could put that in. Yeah, so I'm quite happy to have that on the board rather than getting...
It looks really nice.
It's all tidy enough, I think, yeah. So for the electrical connections, solenoid up basically just goes in through the gland, connecting to these two guys, and runs down to the solenoid here. So that's the solenoid sorted. This just clips into the remote control, not much to show there, and the mains power, I've looked at, comes in here, live and negative, and that will run from the batteries, which I have cables roughly thrown in, will go up to my electrical box here, where I've fitted a automatic circuit breaker, and that'll break the live, and that's basically it. That's it wired once that's done.
Cool. This is pretty exciting.
Yeah, so Watermaker's fitted
Everything's done, I just need to press the on button. The water tanks are completely empty. Looking forward to getting that going so we can
get rid of these guys.
get rid of these guys and get the shower going.
Gain back all that space on the boat. So it's
Wash
exciting.
the boat, wash the decks. This Watermaker is going to be working hard. I give the system a whirl, see do we have any leaks, see what the crack is. So it's going to start with purging the system. So I'm going to tighten the screw on the top of the system that allows us to do that. Okay, I suppose I got to start with turning the mains power on. Kind of scary, to be honest. Okay,
Power's on.
power's on. So it's done a couple of bleeps. Push flushing for 5 seconds. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Yeah. So the next step, you need to be ready with the cloth and come in here again, Katelin. It says turn it on, and after 2 minutes, close the depressurization valve. It's good.
Tastes good.
Yeah.
That's our first sip of fresh water. So it worked.
Wow.
Worked as planned.
Stick the parts per million tester into it here, so I'll see. It's only literally just turned on, so I think they need to run a little while.
So we're
just to...
down to 87 parts per million.
Thanks for watching so far. About the unit itself, it's a huge subject. I can't go into the detail now because I'll be talking for too long, but it's a Schenker Zen 30 litres an hour. The efficiency is class leading, which is 110 watts, and I mean, rowers use them crossing the Atlantic because they are the most efficient unit on the market. And the usability is the other thing, that it's as simple as you just press the on button, press and hold for 1 beep to 3 beeps, and it will literally turn itself on, make for 1, 2 or 3 hours of water and turn itself off, which, if you're confident in your install, you can be off doing the shopping while that happens, which is pretty damn cool. So enjoy, and I look forward to giving you a more detailed review. You know, we're going to put this thing through its paces and see how it goes. Thanks.
Ah, come on, no, do it, do it. Is that nice?
Lovely.